day is finally upon us. Castlevania, the anime adaptation. This shit dropped today, and I binge watched every single episode. Granted, it's only 4 episodes, but still. And this has carved a gore-drenched, horror-loving, video game-playing Cheshire grin from ear to ear on this metal motherfucker's face, and I couldn't be happier.
I bring your death.
Truth be told, when I first heard about the announcement, I was psyched as shit, but always skeptical, because you never know what the hell's going to happen, because anytime that they're adapting one medium to another, you never know what's going to get lost in translation. But then they dropped that fucking teaser trailer, and I was absolutely on cloud fucking 9. I need this shit. I need this in the worst fucking way. And then hearing that Warren Ellis was going to be penning this as well as producing this, and keep in mind, I've been a fan of his work ever since Transmetropolitan. And it was interesting because typically his work, I always see it's something that's set in the future or in a modern day setting. And I was like, I wonder how he's gonna handle a gothic medieval setting that's already based off of a pre-existing work. And this motherfucker has knocked it out of the park. I mean, the animation, the art, the music, the writing, everything, I'm just like, this shit. Thumbs up. I mean, they took the source material of shit like Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse, Castlevania Symphony of Night, and they've woven it together into something all their own. I mean, this is definitely Castlevania, but so much more, because it wasn't ever a really big-time story-driven series. I mean, it had story, but not the likes of this. It didn't have this much writing, it didn't have this much storytelling, it was kind of just cut and dry, and this has filled in tons of the gaps and made me actually give a shit about the individual characters, and seeing them go from little sprites into this living, breathing characters, and I mean, we've got a star-studded cast of actual Hollywood A-listers who were going about the voice work here. You're fucking A-right, I'm going to be stoked about this. I mean, we got Trevor Belmont running around, which I'll admit, he looks like a much manlier version of Squall from FF8. Whenever I had seen him, I was like, oh, that's what Squall would look like if his balls dropped. Fantastic! And he's honestly kind of a sarcastic dickhead who is a reluctant hero, who doesn't want to have to deal with anything, and this motherfucker is the shit. Like, I really like his character a lot.
Find some more food, find some drink, get drunk, eat some food, move on.
And all the stuff that had happened at the beginning, I kept on watching. I'm like, God damn, I really do not like the church. I don't like the bishop. I don't like the townspeople because they're so easily manipulated. I mean, this does harken back and accurately reflect the Dark Ages, and hell, even nowadays, which in some ways kind of is a retelling of the Dark Ages, but that's that's a story for a different time. But anyway, people were easily swayed into like, oh, okay, burn the witch! Burn the witch! I'm like, but she's a good person, she didn't do anything, and she had all your best fucking interest in mind. What the fuck are you doing? Didn't matter at all. They burnt this poor woman alive, who was just a fucking genius, who was able to go and push humanity forward by giving a shit enough to get invested into scientific research and into magic and all sorts of other shit. You're a witch! Oh, you're evil! It's Satan! Oh my god, we can't have this! So they burnt her. This is Dracula's woman. Dracula went full-on fucking John Wick after this. Do you fucking realize, just seeing those two interact together for the short amount of time at the very beginning of it, I thought was so fucking adorable. I'm like, okay, this shit's kind of cute.
Maybe I can teach you to like people again. Or at least tolerate them. Or stop putting them on sticks.
I mean, you have a series like Twilight, which fucking sucks. I don't even know how many fields of fucking dick, but that couldn't tell a goddamn fucking story at all, let alone a love story. And they had like a couple minutes, like 2, 3, maybe like 4 minutes, and they told a better love story that I was more invested in and actually gave a shit about the outcome. And when I had seen, I was just like, oh my god, you all fucked up. You fucked up. You fucked up. You fucked up. Like, you fucked with the wrong woman. And it was nothing but pure unbridled rage, and understandably so, but when you see Dracula just go from his normal calm demeanor and turns into a hellish pillar of flame, I mean, every single incarnation that he took on, whether it was just his image inside of a gigantic combustible ball of fire, or it was a big swirling thing of crows hovering around a fucking castle, I was just like, dude, you look so fucking badass. It's like the actual aesthetics and imagery of this shit was so fucking awesome. But he told him, you have a year to make peace with everything, and I'm coming for all of you. I'm literally going to lay waste to everything and anything that has a fucking pulse. Trust me when I fucking say this. You fucked up, and now you have to pay the price so that the scales, they're even again. And naturally, being the assholes that they are, being the cocky, stupid, arrogant pieces of shit that they are, they went out there and it was like, oh, well, nothing happened. Oh, it's just the devil saying devil things. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, I just wanted to hear Slayer's raining blood. Just like, blood was falling from the sky, and I'm like, oh my god, bad things are happening. Like, you're seeing devils and demons and imps and all sorts of other fucking shit fall and just splatter on the ground, and I'm like, those are all demon fetuses. They're like, gonna come and kill you really soon, like, right fucking now. And sure as shit, Dracula shows up and he's like, you motherfucker, you fucked up. You fucked up so bad. Dead. And sure as shit, they weren't kidding. When Netflix said, oh yeah, rated R as fuck, yeah, there was people being impaled, like, through the face, jaw being ripped off, eyeballs being torn out, fucking guts splayed out everywhere. Women and children were being murdered. I mean, senseless fucking slaughter everywhere. Blood, just decapitations, heads on fucking pikes. They did not hold back. And that's not even including all the fight scenes. I'm just talking about the shit that was going on in this episode. I'm like, holy fucking hell. This is fantastic. And the thing is, I don't really blame Dracula. I can totally understand. He was somebody who didn't like human beings to begin with. Somebody comes along and changes his entire world, changes his perception of reality, makes him into, honestly, a better person. And then you took her away from him. What the fuck did you think was going to happen? And through it all, she didn't even blame them. That's how good of a fucking person she was. She still didn't blame everybody for their stupid, mindless, violent actions. And she died. And then they died. And he didn't want to stop there. He didn't want to just stop with the people that did this. Everybody had to pay. And Alucard shows up and he's like, Dad, you ought to really fucking stop this stuff. And he's just like, shut the fuck up. And knocks him in the fucking next week, so much so that that motherfucker ends up taking a goddamn nap for like an entire year. So that's ow. Dad's mad. Dad's mad, and Dad beat the shit out of me, and I can't call social services because death. A lot of death. I don't even know who the fuck do I call priests? Is that... But... seeing all this shit play out, and then Trevor Belmont shows up, and this motherfucker's getting into barroom fights, and he's like a drunken fucking mess. And doesn't give a shit, you know, his family fell from grace because the people didn't want the Belmonts anymore. They were going towards the church, and they were like, that's where we'll find our answers, even though the Belmonts have been taking care of business for how many millennia? Oh no, we don't need any of that shit. No. We could give a fat fuck less, so fuck all of you. So his family's already hated, and he kind of hates everybody to begin with and just wants to watch the world burn. No Dark Knight references needed. But seeing this shit and how he ends up progressing as a character throughout the 4 episodes, I thought was pretty awesome, because he goes from reluctant hero to kicking ass and taking names to suddenly just taking control of the entire situation and becoming a bona fide leader. I mean, the motherfucker ended up going toe-to-toe with Alucard. And living, like he didn't die. Granted, it was all a test, but still, I'm just like, this shit's amazing. Like, it really was, it was fucking amazing. I mean, his little run-ins with half the fucking priests because the bishop is the world's biggest piece of shit because he was the one who decided to go and put the fucking hit piece on Dracula's old lady. I'm just like, that's Alucard's mom, that's Dracula's woman, and you're trying to kill her. Do you realize what the word regret means and the definition of it? Because holy fuck. I mean, the bishop ends up getting his, and rightfully so, in the house of God, no less. but it was all justified. This motherfucker had it coming because he got too big for his britches and thought, oh, I can go and take care of business. I know that hell's literally coming and raining down upon us, but no, I'm good. Fuck all this. I'm just like, dude, you're such a piece of fucking garbage. I can't wait. And sure enough, yeah, total evisceration. But we got Trevor running around, and he's doing all sorts of shit in the name of other people. I mean, he's taking on all these fucking really messed up priests who really aren't all that priestly, let's be honest. Like, they aren't like the good kind of priests. These are bad people just wearing, like, different cloth and shit. And I mean, when he ends up deciding, okay, I'm gonna go from the bar room fighting to this kind of shit, even though he's like, oh, I'm kind of rusty, busts out that fucking whip and just starts taking care of business. Fucking swinging the vampire killer, and while it's meant to go and take down vampires and demons and all sorts of unearthly prodigies and all sorts of other shit, yeah, this takes out people pretty well, because he took that one motherfucker's eyeball clean out of his fucking head. And then the other dude disarmed him and disfingered him, so, you know, this shit wasn't happening anymore. But took care of that, and, I mean, he's doing all this shit because it's the right thing to do, because, again, he knows he's got to do this. Like, he knows. Deep down in his heart, he knows he has to, because who the fuck else is going to step up? These motherfuckers, they aren't built for this kind of shit, and his family is. So then, eventually, he ends up running into Sypha, and guess the fuck what? I mean, we're literally getting Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse. So, now all of a sudden, we've got the mage. And he ends up bringing her back after taking out a Cyclops, and that fucking fight scene was the shit. So we were seeing the progress of him getting back into, you know, into the groove of things and kicking the shit out of things. Yeah, well, whenever he takes a short sword and connects it onto his whip and starts swinging that thing around and stuff, all of a sudden it's just like, oh my god, he doing all these fucking flips and just taking this thing out, sword right into the fucking eye, drops that bitch like a bad habit, and then Sypha was able to come back. She was previously turned stone. Good thing he didn't drop her, by the way, because she would have came back in like chunks. So that would have been a mess. Like that one headless motherfucker, yeah, that shit was a fucking done-ass deal. Just goddamn. But seeing that and seeing them team up, and Sypha was just like, you know what? I'm not going with my grandfather or anything like that. I'll need to fucking deal with this, and you guys can go and do your thing. They went down south, that's all fucking fine and good. And then all of a sudden, it's Trevor and Sypha going out there, and they're taking on the priest and the angry fucking town mob. And again, these people were just so easily swayed and lied to, and he's just like, what the fuck? Why are you all so fucking stupid? Like, really, what? How about this? Here's the truth of the matter, and he lays down some fucking truth, some fucking knowledge across the board. And then they were like, oh, so that bearded priest over there missing a finger that you fucked up earlier, he's the piece of shit, and so's the bishop? Oh, let's go and kill that guy. And they do, dude, fucking pikes through the neck, through the face. I mean, when you're getting, like, stabbed that many times, like through the eye, and through the neck, and through the face, and through the chest, done. You're done. That motherfucker, he got shish kebab. Like, he really did. I was just like, getting gangbanged with fucking sharp blades. That's not a way to go, but you know what? He had it coming. That's really the truth of the matter. But they end up going into into the actual castle of Dracula, which this shit, dude, when he had that rise up from the ground, and I got to see the gears turning, I'm like, I wonder when there's going to be Medusa heads, because eventually they're going to have to ascend this shit, because it was gigantic. Like, it just kept going and going and going. And it made sense, considering how many Castlevania games that we played where we're running around in Dracula's castle, and this shit's immense. Like, it makes no fucking sense at all. I'm hoping that there's an upside-down version of this castle. Hoping. I'm hoping. I just don't want to come from a lunar eclipse, because that shit was fucking goofy. But still, point being, they're running around inside of that together, and they go and find Alucard. I mean, last time we saw Alucard, he was like, Dad, don't! And that was it! And they end up getting him out of the casket, and they're like, well, okay, Sypha's like, oh, you're the one we've been waiting for! You're going to be the savior! You're the hero that they were talking about who was slumbering! Blah, 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 blah. And then Trevor was like, bitch, he's a fucking vampire! What the fuck are you doing, bitch? This is Dracula! The fuck you! I mean, if you spell his fucking name backwards, everybody knows about that shit. But still, Alucard ends up just standing there floating and shit, looking like the pretty boy that he is. And I'm just like, this is awesome as fuck. I can't believe this. Like, we're having them all together without bad voice acting from Symphony of Night. Which, I still love that voice acting, by the way, and if that can ever become an option for this show, oh my god. I don't know what it sounds like in all the other languages, because I didn't bother, because, you know, I speak and understand English, but still, I thought it was kind of cool that they even had the actual audio options for a bunch of different languages, as well as subtitles. A+ work right there, but still, so they end up getting into it, and this is hands down the best fight scene. Because I thought the choreography for some of the other fight scenes, I mean, it was pretty good. I'll be honest, like, some of them were okay. Like, whenever he's in the alleyway and he's taking out all those different priests, like, the one he ends up gripping up and then gets shot in the fucking face with a bow and arrow and he chucks the spear through his face, I was like, yeah! That fight scene was pretty fucking decent, but everything else, I was like, it's just like one or two shots. It was more about casting spells and all sorts of crazy shit, like when Sypha brings up all the icicles and shit from the ground and it's impaling all those demons. I was like, dude, like, she bringing up walls, all sorts of other shit, and pillars of fucking flame. I'm like, this, do this, like walls of fire going and protecting a motherfucker, and then you're going and killing the other ones with ice. Shit was brutal as hell, and I was all for it. And then the bucket of water that was thrown, that was holy water, by the way, frozen and then splintered off and just wrecked their shit, stabbing the hell out of them. Like, yes, 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 yes. It was so fucking awesome. I love that shit. I was like, this is cool. But now all of a sudden, it's Trevor and Alucard duking it out. And again, this is just a test battle. He's just like, I want to see whether or not you're worthy of the fucking name, or if you're just some bitch who's got a fucking emblem on their chest, who's, well, a fake. And, I mean, it pisses him off, and rightfully so, but Trevor ends up whooping his ass for a decent portion of it. I mean, in the later half, Alucard ends up holding his own. When there's no vampire killer in play and they're going sword to sword, yeah, Alucard's kinda, he's got him beat. I mean, you can't fuck with a Belmont when they got a whip in hand, but, I mean, this was a completely different beast all unto itself. But watching this, I was just like, dude, this is fucking incredible. And then they, you know, at the end of it, he's just like, good shit. Good shit. Alright, well, Sypha's about to go and blow my fucking brains out through the front of my skull and shit with some kind of fire spell, and you've got a blade inside my chest, and all you gotta do is just kind of go north a bit, so yeah, we're totally good here. Except for, I mean, technically I could kill you guys, because you see all the teleporting shit I did? Yeah. Dark metamorphosis! You get to go and do some stuff like that. But watching it, and, you know, they got together, and they were like, alright, let's go and kick my dad's ass. Yeah, let's kick your dad's ass. Yeah, fuck that undead guy. He's kind of a prick, and he's literally killing everybody. Literally, not metaphorically, actually killing everybody. Okay, so, I mean, I like this so much. I don't even know how else for me to comprise my thoughts other than I've enjoyed this so much. Like, I was genuinely pissed off watching people go and burn Alucard's mommy. I'm just like, you guys are dicks. And if you played Symphony of Night, you got to see some of that shit. And it's kind of sad when you see all this shit playing out. I'm just like, dude, it's really fucked up, and I don't blame Dracula. Like, I really don't. I understand it. And I think it kind of sucks because the dude is just so taken over with rage and anger. And, you know, you can't come back from all this stuff because, I mean, you are wiping out entire fucking family histories and timelines and shit. But Alucard was just like, you should go after the ones who did this. No. Everybody dies. And he's like, I can't let you do that. And he's like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Fuck you. Fuck out of here. Nonsense. Yeah, little boy Van Peel. Yeah, you fucking halfling. Get your bitch ass out of here. And it was just so well done. Like, it was. From beginning to end, I've enjoyed a lot of this shit. I enjoyed a lot of the actual writing that they've had. Trevor easily is my favorite character of the bunch just because of how he portrays himself, how he carries himself. I mean, right now he's in pretty fucking serious mode, though he still has a lot of little quirks and a lot of shit that he's gonna go and say, because, I mean, let's be honest, it's Warren Ellis writing it, so anytime that he has a character, they have to be a sarcastic asshole, they've got to be witty, they've got to have some kind of zinger and a comeback and shit, and Trevor's all about that. So I'm absolutely okay with that, and they made Trevor way fucking cooler than he's ever been in the games. I don't give a fuck what anybody says at all. I mean, Simon Belmont's a badass, Richter Belmont's a badass. I always felt that Trevor kind of got the raw end of things. And sure as shit, now all of a sudden we've got this anime, and I'm just like, this is amazing. And they've greenlit Season 2 already, and they've bumped it up to 8 episodes. So we got the 4 episodes right now. We'll have 8 more episodes coming after that. I have no fucking idea about what the release date is. I saw it on Bloody Disgusting, so it was just like, good shit. But I went to get all my thoughts and feelings out about this. I know that this is filled with spoilers and shit, but if you can't read the fucking title, well, that's your own fault and not my own. But I just want to talk about this shit because I'm excited. Like, I'm genuinely enthusiastic and excited about this because I've seen some video games that were adapted into anime, and I thought they did an absolutely spectacular job. Like, if you've seen some of the Street Fighter animes, if you'd seen Devil May Cry or Disgaea, like, that shit was awesome as fuck. And I'm like, you know what? They did a bang-up job with this, and I'd say easily goes up there with the best of the best, if not the best. And yes, that is a tall fucking order, but one, considering what I've watched in just 4 episodes, has blown my fucking balls off. Like, seriously, just reattach those bitches, it's okay, because worth it. Totally worth it. But opinions and thoughts on Castlevania, I know, hashtag fuck Konami, but Konami didn't even have anything to do with this other than just, here, have our license and go make some shit with it. Everything else was created by other people, and they just did such a good fucking job, and now I'm just thinking, like, there's so much wasted potential, because I know Konami won't be able to make a fucking video game adaptation of this anime and all that other fucking shit, but it would be awesome, because when I was watching some of this, I was like, I can see all of this being done in a video game, and I just kept on imagining it, and I was imagining future episodes and how they're gonna be able to go and stretch this shit out, because there's lots of stuff that we haven't seen that is a go-to mainstay within the Castlevania series that hasn't showed up yet, so who knows what the hell is going to happen, but I'm psyched up, I'm happy as fuck, this stuff's good. Anyway, this is AlphaOmegaSin, as always, nerds, nerdettes, and gamers game the fuck on!